guys, we're about to do a training session, no training course. Let me get this comment in, and we're gonna start training this guy in the background. All right, let's get into it. So we're just gonna jump right into our training. Jack's heel. So you guys who have been here, you know how we start out. We're just gonna start off healing, and this dog is about to turn up and go crazy. He gets some sneezes out to begin, but we're just starting off with some basic obedience, some nonverbal obedience right off the bat. I would not recommend this with your guys' new dogs, but we are having him work for his food right here. So we're gonna put him in these 3 heel positions, and we are going to work this boy. I tap my right shoulder. Hey, come on. You see him getting distracted? Come on, tighter. He's smelling his food over there. Good job. So we're kind of going to activate him. So we're just starting off the session, so he's like a little tired. He's just been being lazy all day. So it takes a little minute to warm him up, just like a fancy Ferrari car. It takes a minute to warm him up. But I jump right into a bunch of nonverbal communication and like healing commands, which is really complex. You guys should never start your training sessions with like something like a heel. Because a heel is a complicated command. The dog has to turn when you turn this way. They have to turn when you turn this way. If he's in between my legs like this, he needs to back up with me when I back up. The dog needs to stop with you when you stop. This is not how you should start a training session if you're just beginning with your dog, or if you have a reactive or difficult dog. You want to start very slow. So do as I say, not as I do. So check this out. He's got these. Good boy. You see him? He's getting a little more activated. I don't know if you guys can catch that on the mic, but you see him getting a little like, okay. We're getting going. So I'm just continuing to warm this boy up. Good job. Good boy. Yeah, you hear him going? Good boy. Hey. Oh, what? Good job. Hey, good boy. You're doing awesome. We're about to get into this training session, aren't we, buddy? So let's do some nonverbal commands. Here's a, hey. All right, he's malfunctioning. Let's start off with verbal. Let's ease him into it. Stand. Good. Down. Sit. Good. Stand. Good. Down. All right, so we're gonna drill him right here just to start off. So I'm gonna do all the verbals, and then I'm gonna do the nonverbals. I just posted a video on how to do this. Stand. Good. Stand. Down. Good. Down. Sit. Good. Sit. That's all the verbals. Now let's do the nonverbals. Good. Hey, let's reward him. So we can do that on all 3 levels. Good job. Right. What? That's a talkative puppy, huh? What? Yeah, this guy loves to work. Hey, what? Come on. Hey. He's like, what's going on, Dad? I'm excited. Good boy. You're that engine revving. Here's a good one. He's a good one. He is. Thanks. Yeah, he's an awesome dog. He's a pit bull husky. I'm scared to have pit bulls. I love dogs. Yeah, I mean, honestly, guys, pit bulls are like serious dogs. Like it's kind of crazy how common they've become as just like a starter dog for people. Like there's like pit bulls in like 20-year-olds dormitories in apartment buildings across the country, which is insane. Okay, quiet. Because dogs that have let's just call them bully breeds. Staffies, American Pit Bull Terriers, what the heck is the XL Bullies, just any of the terriers. I'm totally blanking on one of them. These dogs have super high prey drive and like really high energy. And I think we get brainwashed by these social media videos of these cute pitties and beaded necklaces that, get spa treatments on TikTok and stuff, and we think these bullies are easy dogs, and they have a lot of exercise needs. They have a lot of just leadership needs, and that prey drive can turn south. That prey drive can seriously turn south. Do you do boarding trains? Yes, it's on a very case-by-case basis. They do have a very high prey drive. Thanks, he is a beautiful dog. If you guys see me looking back and forth, I got two lives going here on 2 phones. They're on YouTube as well. Yeah, I just saw an example. So check this out, guys. Heel. I just saw an example of pitty with a high prey drive at a barbecue I was out on Thursday. This is like a harmless pitty. Like he's not she wasn't aggressive, but her prey drive was so strong, and she got really aroused. And be quiet. And she nipped at a little kid. And it wasn't because she was wanting to attack the kid. It wasn't because she was an aggressive pit bull. It was just because her prey drive was so strong, and the kid was running away from her with a little stick. And she was just aroused, being a pitty. They get very aroused. Good boy, Jax. Good boy. Good. Hey, I'm getting dizzy doing that. I always get dizzy. But yeah, I saw this coming. Sometimes I'm on my dog trainer mode at other people's place, but you can't tell other people how to be with their dogs when they're not seeking training. So I kind of just like, I'll answer questions if people ask me. But I saw this dog just getting aroused like an hour before that happened. I didn't know exactly what was going to happen. I didn't know a kid was going to get nipped at. But I knew it was going to go south. So that was on that left side. Now we're doing the same thing on the right that you guys were just watching, where he's rotating. Good boy, Jax. Into a spin, and he works his way back into rotation, stops on a dime. Hey, good job, dude. You're awesome. You're doing awesome. Sorry, dude. He's a little aroused. He doesn't really need to get touched when he's this excited. I'll wait for him to relax a little bit before he kind of gets some of that touch, because he's working. It's like I don't need to be touching him. We're already engaging. Chip! I say I don't need to be touching him right after touching him a bunch. Eat. Jax, sit. Pretty. Good, pretty. Good, pretty. Pause on. Did you guys see that little catapult? I love that. Up. Good boy. Hey, what? He's an awesome dog, huh? What is it called when the dog is between your legs or following you at your side like that? It's called a heel. So it's a heel if it's on the left side, it's a heel if it's on the right side, it's a heel if it's in the center. As long as that dog's moving every direction with you. My pup attacks whenever we leave his pen. He is hanging on to your every word. Yeah, and this isn't magic. I promise you, like, heel. Like, I'm not special. I'm not a dog whisperer, and this dog has terrible genetics, so he's definitely not special. But the way I get this type of engagement, this type of obedience, is because I do a ton of things that make sense in his head to just blindly follow me, to be loyal to me, because I handle all his resources, because I'm a clear leader for him, because I take care of all of his needs. I fulfill his needs for engagement, for work. I fulfill his needs just as a parent. I fulfill his everything. And because he gets all that, he'll give me this level of attentiveness, And this is a reactive, like, aggressive dog. Like, he's just trained now. He has a lot better coping mechanisms for dealing with his stress. I'll get to you guys' comments in a sec. I'm neglecting you a little. But I want you guys to think about this. He's 6. I got him when he was 1. This dog was a nightmare when I first got him. Heel. When I first got this dog, he was reactive towards other dogs, cats, kids, people. He couldn't be on leash without freaking out. If a leaf blew down the alley 100 yards away, he was freaking out. He couldn't be in the car. He couldn't be in the crate. He couldn't relax. He couldn't handle eating food. He was a nightmare, and it wasn't his fault. No one had trained him yet. And we worked through all of that aggression, all of that reactivity. And a lot of times when you guys see a dog like this that is this tuned in, this engaged with their owner, and this is just a simple training session in the house, Like, this is nothing. You guys go watch our reels. Hey, come on, free. I'm gonna have him shake the stress off. He's getting a little excited. Good. Heel, good. Good. There you go. You see him loosen up. Sometimes he gets a little aroused because he loves doing this a little too much. And we're working, we're engaging. And sometimes I have to make him shake off that stress. Good down. Good sit. Good stand. Choop. So these dogs, they never get fixed. Like these reactive, aggressive dogs that are no longer acting out like that, they're not fixed. The only reason he doesn't act out like that is because of things I do on a daily basis. It's structure, it's leadership, it's discipline, it's resource management. That's what I'm doing right now. How is he with other stimuli now? Could you hold the heel in a dog park? Or is this just not the right good boy for that? Oh, I could hold the heel anywhere, like off leash. Like, go watch the heel. Oh, sorry, that was the wrong heel. Go watch all of our reels. I post literally a short every single day, and I can heel with him off leash, like relaxed, like not even like this. This is him getting jacked up. This is for fun. A dog can't be this type of energy out and about. A dog needs to be neutral and calm out and about. But when we're doing these training sessions, I get him excited just for fun. He gets to let his energy out and go crazy like this. But when we're out and about, this guy can hold the off-leash heel for hours, like a relaxed off-leash heel for hours. Downtown Seattle, by dogs, cats, kids. I can take this dog anywhere. And you guys can go watch those reels and those shorts and those TikToks. And I don't say this to be like, oh, look at me. I say this because any dog can learn to do that. It's not magic. If you guys go watch the YouTube videos that we have free, sit, pretty, good pretty already, huh? Down, pretty, pause on, off, down, circle, good boy, circle, hey, hey, spin, good boy, down, good down. Weave, weave, chip. Let's let him get some of that food. How do I get my dog to do this? Check out the YouTube course videos. Hey, what's up, C-Dale? I always happen to be looking at the screen when C-Dale comments. All right, so let's do. Hey, thanks. The dog he's a pretty boy. Heel. So I'm going to show you guys some nonverbal communication. I just posted a reel on how to do this today. So he's trained to respond to which foot I move forward with. So if I step with my left foot, he's coming with me. I don't have to say anything. It's just clear communication. He's in this heel no matter what. When we come to a stop and I step with my right foot, he stays in place. I don't have to say, stay. I don't have to say anything. And he's going to be there if I walk in the store, if I go around the block, whatever. He's staying right there. Whenever I'm ready to come back to him and walk with him, I step with my left foot. Boom, he knows to come with me. Again, I'm not saying any command. I don't want to have to talk to my dog all the time. Now, same thing in the center position. We're walking around all the time with him in the center position. And I put him in here for real world. Like this training I do is for real world scenarios. So if he's in between my legs, maybe we're walking through a mall. We're walking through like busy aisles of some event or some flea market or some farmer's market. And I put him between my legs so he feels safer. If there's, kids or reactive dogs around, he'll feel a little more protected. And same thing in this position. He's with me in this until I say otherwise. So if I come to a stop, he comes to a stop. If I step with my right foot, same thing. He's staying in place back there. A lot of times I'll do this when I'm saying hi to somebody. They might not want my crazy pity coming all the way up to them. If it's some old lady. I do this if I'm going up to get my food at a food truck, or if I'm going into a cafe where they don't allow dogs. I'm going to leave him back there. Hey, what's up, guys? Now, when I'm ready to walk back with him, left foot first means he comes with me. I don't have to do anything. I don't have to say anything. And I don't want to have to say anything to my dog. I want him to just understand what I need out of him by just reading my body language, because that's not too much to ask for out of a dog. Now, if I tap my right shoulder like this, he heels onto the right side. Now, what do you think happens on this side? Same thing. I stop, he stops. I step with my right foot, he stays back there in place. How long did it take to get him to this point of knowing which leg to move on? I mean, it's not that complicated, I promise you guys. It just depends on what level of training. How much time for, hey, thanks, C-Dale. Yep, I'm in Seattle. Yeah, I train in the Seattle area. So here, left foot first means he's coming with me. So if you guys want to know how I do all this, I have a dog training course online, that online dog training platform that all my clients work through. So all my clients in the Seattle area and Western Washington, they train with me in person, but these in-person sessions are paired with online coursework. So in between sessions, it's not a guess what these people need to be doing. My clients, they don't have to wonder, what should I do between this session and next? There's a step-by-step training plan you get. There's a calendar, like there's a progression, and you have video lessons and tutorials to go through everything. That's why the training works so well. And I only train difficult, reactive, fearful dogs because it's thorough training. But if you do these steps, it will work. It's just a lot of work for the owner, not the dog. The dogs will always respond if the owner knows what they're doing. So my clients, they don't have to pay attention. They don't have to remember every word I say during my sessions. They do have to pay attention, but they don't have to remember every word I say during my sessions because everything's in the online course. And I have a couple of these course videos on my YouTube for free. It's linked in my bio for the people on the TikTok live, and you guys on the YouTube are already on YouTube. And if you guys want to watch those course videos, you'll understand how I get my dog like this, because it's not magic. It's like a math equation. It's just information that I know how to do, that I have more experience with, because it's my profession. Now, you guys do different things for your job. You have different interests and a different life. You don't need to do all of this as good as I do. Like, you just need to do whatever fits your life with your dog. Heel. Whatever things you want to be able to do with your dog, it's very doable. You just need to become a dog trainer for your one dog. It's very possible. You don't have to train hundreds of dogs like me. You just need to know to train that one dog you have. And that's what a good dog trainer does. Not just me. That's what I do, but that's what any good dog trainer does. We train people to train their dogs. Because I could train all your difficult dogs really quick. I could have them up and running in my house very quickly and under the structure and listening to me. But then I give the dog back to you and everything falls apart. You know, why is that? It's because long-term results in dog training only happens from educating the owner. You need to know what's going on. You need to know how to communicate with your dog. You need to know how to be a leader for your dog. Like tangible steps, not just some woo-woo alpha energy. No, literal tangible steps that you implement to become a leader in your dog's eyes. Like, you guys need to learn how to handle the dog's resources. You need to learn how to discipline your dogs fairly and effectively, in the way that they respond to. You need to learn how to structure a healthy relationship with the dog. A healthy relationship with the dog, heel, is not a bunch of love bombing and affection. It's not spoiling them with treats. It's not even love. A healthy relationship with a dog has to put emotions to the side first. But we put the emotions to the side out of love for our dog, out of doing what's best for our dog. And we give them structure and discipline so that they can become mentally stable and they can handle freedom. If you try to give an unstable, reactive dog freedom, they are going to freak out at everything and just cause chaos. And why wouldn't they? It's a dog. It's a wild animal. Like, they're acting how they should act. And if we want them to act how we need them to act to take them into our human world, we need to teach them rules. We need to teach them boundaries. We need to teach them confidence. We need to teach them what they are not allowed to do and what they are allowed to do. And we make it really good to be good and really bad to be bad. And the dog's like, this makes a lot of sense. I get bad consequences when I do this, and I get good consequences when I do this. What am I going to choose? The dogs aren't dumb. The dogs are really smart. They're not on their phones all day like us. They're not freaking vaping and watching crap TV all day and numbing down their minds. No, if you paint a black and white picture of what you want the dog to not do and what you want the dog to do, dogs are ready to just do it. Like, that's how I get a dog like this, who was reactive, aggressive, crazy, had every problem in the book, and now he'll listen to me in any environment, under any distraction, under tons of pressure. He helps me train difficult, aggressive dogs. He's awesome. I need to work with the Chihuahua. Yep, Chihuahuas need training too. Why do you step over him? Does he center by himself? Why do you step over him? Does he center by himself? I guess I don't know what you're talking about. You mean like when I do this? That's just me leaving him in an applied stay. But he centers from, if he's healing on whatever side, yeah, if I go like this, he just centers himself. That's just like a nonverbal cue where I'm lifting my leg. But I'm not sure if I really understand your question. Good job, buddy. Bad guy's ready to bite your hand off. Boom, boom, boom. So nonverbal, send to the place. He's getting distracted looking at his food. So when I tap my left butt cheek, boom, a puppy appears on this side. Magic. Send him back to the place, nonverbal. Kind of malfunction there for a sec. Now I tap my other butt cheek, boom, a puppy appears on this side. I can send him back to the place non-verbally with both arms. If I want him to pop between my legs, boom, spread him, tap behind my back, a puppy appears here. Stand, good stand. Down, good down. Sit, good sit. Non-verbal stand, good boy. Non-verbal down, good boy. Non-verbal sit, good boy. Non-verbal heel onto this side. Good boy. Now let's do the verbal non-verbals on this side. Stand. Good stand. Down. Good down. Sit. Good sit. Good stand. Good boy. Good job. So that was all the non-verbals. Hey, oh, sorry, buddy. Almost up on you. Good boy. Non-verbal heel to the right. Good boy. Now we're going to do the verbals and the non-verbals on this side. Stand. Good stand. Good boy. Good boy. Down. Good down. Sit. Good sit. Tighter. Good boy. Now let's do the nonverbals. Good stand. Good down. Chip. Let's reward him. He was getting a little sloppy, veering off to the right, but we're just having fun in these dinner sessions. Like, this isn't meant to be clean, you know, like, this is just meant to have fun, get his energy out, have him working for his food. This creates some mental stability just in him feeling competent and confident because he's working for his food. Like, how do you guys feel, you guys who are happy in your careers, who get to work hard? You probably feel a lot of fulfillment and confidence from working hard in your careers that you enjoy. The dog isn't showing any aggressive behavior. Oh, he's aroused for sure. I let him get aroused in this situation. He's leaky too. I don't really work on the talking. How does this work even if they're old? How long did it take to train him to master this? Well, he's 6. We've been training since he was 1. But you can train an old dog. It's like, yeah, your dog might not have this level of drive. They might not have this amount of pep in their step, but you can still train any dog, no matter how old they are. It's just, it's going to look different for each dog. It's going to look different for what makes that dog tick. There's a lot of stuff that make this dog tick like a total psycho. And your dog might not have the same type of tick, but your dog has some drive, and we could learn to build that drive up more. So I love doing this rotation with him. So we're already in a rotation, and I send him into another circle, and he whips it around, boom, stops on a dime. Good job, buddy. Same thing on this side. If I tap my right shoulder, he's going to heel onto that right side. Same thing here. If I'm moving around like this, I'm going to send him into another circle. He works hard to get back around. Good job. What a stud. Chirp. Let's reward him for that. That's my reward marker, that chirping noise. So when I say that chirping noise, he's released. You guys might think this dog's crazy. He's out of control. He's totally not. He's in drive. He's excited. I let him get a little aroused. This isn't exactly the type of energy we want out at the park, so we let him do it in the house. Do you train him personally? Yep, this is my personal dog. He's 6 years old. He helps me train dogs. So I train fearful, reactive, aggressive dogs in the Seattle area in Western Washington. And this guy helps me out a ton. He almost acts as bait for a lot of dogs. He acts as a distraction because he's so high energy. He's such a Lamborghini engine that my client's dog, it's hard for them to be around him because he's not some like old, easy, chill dog. He's a crazy dog. I just have control over him, you know? He'll be locked in while he's like excited, but he listens. And that's very valuable for my clients because their dogs need to learn to be around difficult dogs who are high drive. Jack's down. Good boy. How come he's not eating the food off the ground? Because I haven't released him to eat it yet, you know? We're doing some impulse control. This is good for the dog. Could you train a Rottweiler or a Cane Corso? Yep, I've trained both. I've trained mixes of both, and they are awesome dogs. Like, they're very trainable. But yeah, when you have a Cane Corso or an Rottie, they're serious dogs. Like, you need to bring some clear leadership, clear communication. You need to be able to discipline them, and you need to be able to earn their respect because those dogs aren't just going to roll over for nothing. These are big dogs. They have needs. Like, these dogs were bred to work. You cannot just have these dogs casually in the house without a training plan, without a system. You have to give them structured outlets, you know, through play, through obedience work, you know, through like things that you're implementing in the dog's mind to make them look at you like a worthy leader. If you get a Rottie and a Cane Corso and you don't know what you're doing leadership-wise, you don't know what you're doing structure-wise, you don't know what you're doing discipline-wise, that's going to go south. It's going to go south really quick. We'll do all the tricks again in a second. American Bully. Have you trained a Newfie? Yeah, I have trained a Newfie. Irish Wolfhound. I haven't trained an Irish Wolfhound. I have not trained an Irish Wolfhound, but I would love to. How old would you wait to neuter? I mean, that's not my expertise, but I personally wouldn't neuter. Where did you learn? Military? Nope, just other trainers, man. I worked in a dog school. I went through other trainers' courses with my dog. I went through online training courses. Just learning and learning and learning. Jack, sit. He's so in his head thinking about the food that he just totally missed that. Sit. You see him. Go to your place. All right, let's let him get the food. Chip. Hey, there he goes. He's going to do some vacuuming off the ground. I'm in the Seattle area. Trained a pit? Yeah, I trained too many pitties because everybody has them, and they get very reactive when you don't know what you're doing. Awesome dogs, but I train more pits than anyone. Yeah, thanks, Germ. Happy to help. Yeah, thanks for letting people know where I'm at. You guys can feel free to let people know any questions that I'm missing if you hear me talking. Best big dog breed for obedience? I mean, there's so many. It's like for obedience, like just kind of like blindly listening to you, that would be like the more difficult dogs. That would be like the Dutchies, the Maus. Like they would be the ones that would be able to get the most locked in obedience. But like those are tough dogs. So it's like, do you want them to do crazy high level obedience, but also be very difficult to handle, or do you want a dog that's easy to handle but might not be able to get to that crazy high level of obedience? It kind of depends. You have to be specific. Do you have friends that are also trainers? Yeah. Yeah, and you need them because those are the people that have dogs that I let my dog play with, other people who train. Um, but yeah, I kind of learned everything from my trainer friends. I'm blessed enough to have people who have taught me all the stuff I know. Like I got a whole dog training course that I run people through, and it's safe to say that I don't think I have one original like idea in dog training. It's literally me just pulling from hundreds of people I've learned from over the years and picking what works in my system. But it's not like you're not going to reinvent the wheel with dog training, and that's okay. There's a need for trainers everywhere, and if you find a system that you like to work through and you're also open-minded and able to adjust, like there's no like, I hate the people who subscribe to like training ideologies like you have to train this way. It's like train the way that works. Like be okay pulling different things for different dogs. Like if you think like there's one way to train a dog, like it's silly. So I'll learn from a bunch of different people, and if something's not working, you got to adjust. Dog training is humbling. Hey, father has a Czech shepherd. Dang it, inhale without chewing. Yep, he'll do that. Do you like Caesar Milan? I mean, I don't even know if I've studied him like crazy well. He's just Caesar obviously knows what he's doing to some extent. You can agree or disagree with his dog training approach, but the dude's trained so many dogs, and he's also off leash walked 50 like reactive aggressive rehab dogs at once in downtown LA. You can't tell me someone who's able to do that like doesn't know what they're doing. You can work a different approach, but I think, yeah, just having looked at Caesar peripherally, it's like he obviously knows what he's doing with dogs. I don't train exactly like him, but it's like the dude's been working with dogs and having his dog psychology center for decades. Like I've never cared to like dive insanely deep into him, but I think it'd be silly just to discredit him. Just like, there's other trainers that maybe I don't agree with, but it's like I'm not necessarily going to talk too much on it because I probably didn't spend a ton of time looking into them, So I'm not going to base my opinion off these people I don't really know. If you had to pick one, e-collar or prong collar, oh man, why not both? Like I guess e-collar if you had to, but it's not ideal to start with the e-collar. You need to use the prong collar to communicate directional pressure before you bring in the e-collar. Because when you bring in an e-collar and you start adding stim to the dog, pressure to the dog on the e-collar, there's no direction to that. Like they don't know what you're telling them to do right away. But if you teach a dog to respond to prong collar pressure first, there's directional pressure involved in the prong collar. When you apply pressure to that dog with the prong collar, they feel it going in a certain direction. Whether you're correcting them back towards you, they're in a heel and you're correcting them back into the heel. Down, correcting them down into the down position, correcting them up into the sit position. Correcting them back towards you when they drift off. The prong collar has directional pressure. So you need to teach the dog how to respond to that directional pressure, and we attach the e-collar onto the prong collar, like communication wise. So when I'm training people to transition to the e-collar in off-leash training, we still have the prong collar on at first because we pair them both together, and we teach the dog what the e-collar means through the same mechanisms that we used with the prong collar. And they're very effective tools. Like these prong collars and e-collars are very fair and effective tools when you use them properly. Can you abuse an e-collar? Absolutely. Can you abuse a prong collar? Absolutely. But work with the trainer and they will teach you how to use them properly and give you a ton of results and freedom. Like the whole goal of using these tools is to give your dog freedom. Have you ever trained other animals other than dogs? I have not. But I know a lot of trainers who work with horses, and I think it gives you a good perspective, but different dogs. DDK and his dog Kong. Do you like them and follow his dog training? I do not know DDK. Can you send us a bio? I don't know what you mean. Prong collar for 3 days will solve that. Prong collars will solve a lot of problems. I can't get my dog to not pull me on a walk. All right, let's talk about dogs that are pulling on walks. And let's equate them. Jack's heel. Good job. Let's equate the dogs that are pulling on. Good boy, shake it off. Good job. Go to your place. Right. Good boy. Free. Sit. Pretty. Good, pretty. I love when he catapults himself up there. Good boy. Off. Good boy. Under. What? Hi, happy boy. Good boy. Good down. Good stand. It didn't freeze. I think he's frozen though. The eye contact is intense. He's staring me down. He's waiting. His ears just tickling a little bit. He could hold this for a long time. He doesn't have to do any of that. All he has to do is stay in that stand, but he's choosing just to look at me and hold on to like every last word and movement. And because he's that responsive to me, he's reliable. I can trust him. I can take him anywhere because I know when I need him to listen, he's going to listen. And because I know that he's going to listen when I need him to, I can let him have so much freedom and go run around. He can be so far away from me. This dog gets to explore entire mountains off leash. He gets to explore parks off leash. He gets to swim in rivers and lakes. He gets to run next to me on my bike. He gets to run next to me while I run, all off leash. He gets to go downtown. He gets to go to the beach. He gets to go to the restaurant. He gets to wrestle with his friends. He gets to play fetch. He gets to play tug. He gets to do all of this stuff because of this structure and this discipline that I implement. This is just one of the little structure and discipline items is this mealtime training that we're doing. But, you know, it's crate training a dog. It's giving the dog their own space on the place and having them separate from your couch and your bed. It's handling the dog's resources where you're hand feeding the dog their food. It's putting the toys away and only bringing them out to play with me so that he understands, hey, these are my toys that I'm letting him play with. This is my house that I'm letting him live in and giving him his own areas in. This is my walk that I'm letting him come on. These are my toys that I'm allowing him to engage with me with. Now, I do this for his own good. I don't do this because it's like fun for me to control, you know, dogs and stuff. It's just good for their mental stability when they're difficult dogs. They need structure. They need discipline. That's freedom, absolute freedom. Need to mirror your video. I don't know how to mirror a video in on YouTube. I got it mirrored on the TikTok live right next to this. But if someone wants to tell me how to mirror videos on the YouTube live, I'll do it. But this is just giving you a link to Heel, to my Instagram and YouTube. Good job. Good boy. Free. Good job. Weave. Free. You see, he was looking up at me there, and he was looking up at me and ran into my leg. Good job, dude. Hey, you're doing awesome. So something all you guys can do right now, no matter where you're at with your dogs, how do you discipline them? Well, you discipline a dog by starting to do on-leash training. Before you go into off-leash training, you have to start with on-leash training. And you discipline a dog by first understanding that you have to have a healthy relationship and you have to have a communication system set up. So when your trainer helps you set up a healthy relationship with his creating boundaries and rules in the house and expectations, then you can establish a clear communication system where you can label what you're correcting the dog with. And then you can start disciplining your dog fairly and effectively. And the way we do that in our program is we condition them to a prong collar on leash. And we teach the dog to respond to that prong collar pressure. We don't make it just a negative thing. We try to make it a neutral tool. Yes, at times are we going to give the dog corrections, like firm corrections with that tool? Yes, eventually we are. But we're also going to teach them to respond to that pressure productively when it's not a correction. That's negative reinforcement. And so we're teaching the dog some resiliency. We're teaching them obligation with this tool, with the prong collar. And when you can teach a dog obligation, the dog understands the value of must. You have to hold the dog accountable to what you ask of them. Chip! If the dog thinks you're a pushover and just will blow you off and will not do the recall or will not stay in the obedience position in a hectic environment, you're not going to be able to take your dog anywhere. Like, you have to give the dog discipline so that they understand the rules. And we get this with kids. We completely understand this with kids. Like, parents will absolutely be the bad guy if they need to with their kids. And they will discipline their kids. Obviously, kids are humans. We can speak the same language as them. They're not these physical, crazy, wild creatures like dogs, so we don't have to physically discipline our kids. But dogs are physical communicators. Dogs correct other dogs physically. Mother dogs correct their puppies physically. And dogs respond to that physical correction if you do it calmly and fairly and in a structured communication system and within a structured, healthy household and relationship. It's not magic creating a structured home with a dog. It's not magic getting a dog to be this engaged with me. Trust me, he's this engaged with me whether I have the food or not. Like, he'll do this regardless. You guys can go watch all the reels, watch all the YouTube videos. I don't have to bring a treat with me with my dog. I can leave for the whole damn day, go down to Seattle. I can have him off leash everywhere. I don't have to have a single treat on me. And usually I don't, just because I'm lazy, and he gets rewarded with his toys more if he needs a reward. But the way you get a dog to have freedom and to be able to come everywhere with you is giving them structure and discipline. And when you learn how to provide that discipline through a tool, like a prong collar, you can separate that from you. You know, we don't need to be hitting our dogs. We don't need to be disciplining our dogs with random objects. We just need a leash and a training collar. And after you do that on leash, you can transition to the e-collar off leash. You can use the e-collar to hold your dog accountable at a distance. And when your dog will listen to you on leash, you can take him anywhere on leash. When your dog will listen to you off leash, you can take him anywhere off leash, and you can give the dog freedom. Like, we want to give our dogs freedom, and people don't understand that discipline equals freedom. Chip! A dog that will listen to you in chaos, no matter what, is a dog that you can take anywhere, and they'll love you for that. People are like, oh my God, I don't want to tell my dog no. Like, that's crazy to me. That's crazy to me. Because think about this with kids. Think about a kid who has parents who won't tell that kid no. Like, that kid's going to turn into a nightmare. They're going to have problems at school. They're not going to be able to hold a good job. They're going to be difficult in their relationship, their social life. Like, you can't not tell a kid no. And people think because these dogs are cute and cuddly, and there's all these fun little reels and YouTube shorts of dogs, that for some reason, wrong one, good boy. We shouldn't be disciplining our dogs. And there's a fair and effective way to discipline your dogs. And when people don't understand what that is, they demonize it. They're like, oh, it must be terrible. You must be abusing your dog. It's like, no, you're being a parent to your dog. And a dog trainer can help you learn how to be a parent to your dog. I get that. Most of my clients, well, I don't really have to sell my clients on disciplining their dogs, because all my clients come to me after having like a bad experience with another trainer or two already, where they didn't get results and their dog just kept getting crazier and crazier. So when they come to me, they kind of know what I'm talking about. They're like, hey, I get it now. I already tried the force-free, positive-only training. It didn't work. But for some clients who come to me before that, I have to get them to understand that, hey, you're disciplining your dog because you love them. A healthy relationship with a dog comes through structure and discipline, doing the things that are best for your dog so that you can give them the life that they want. And it's the same as anything else. If you want freedom, you need to have discipline. If you want financial freedom, you need to have discipline over your career and finances. You cannot be spending money on anything. You have to have restraint. That's not always fun, but if you're willing to adhere to that, you'll be able to have freedom to go on vacations. You'll be able to have freedom to own a own business and own your time. But if you don't have discipline, you're never going to get that freedom. It's the same thing with health and fitness. If you want to have freedom to look and feel great, You're gonna have to have discipline over your nutrition. You're gonna have to have discipline over your exercise routines. You're not going to be able to just lay on the couch whenever you want. You're gonna have to go to the gym sometimes when you don't want to. You're gonna have to go run sometimes when you don't want to. That takes discipline. But through that discipline, you can look and feel how you want, and you can have the energy to go out and live the life that you truly want to. But it comes through discipline. Jax, heel. Same thing if you want to just have like some like, you know, happiness, like spiritually or just religiously, whatever that looks like for you. That takes discipline. You're gonna have to look at yourself in a way that is uncomfortable and really examine your flaws, you know, and the things you're doing wrong and the person you want to become. And if you don't do that, you're not gonna get that spiritual freedom. You're not gonna be able to feel, you know, like you're of service to other people. You're not gonna be able to feel like you're living for more than just yourself. You're just gonna be stuck in that, you know, self-centeredness. Jax, heel. And that's not freedom. So again, it doesn't matter what it is. Discipline will give you that freedom. And this applies to so many different areas of life. And then with dogs, we just completely lose all perspective. We completely lose perspective, and we don't understand that that discipline will give the dog freedom as well. He's a pit bull husky. Can you train at any age? Absolutely. Can you say how to fairly discipline our dog? Yeah, go to your place. So the way you fairly discipline your dog, we just touched on this a little bit, I'll touch on it again maybe, is you have to have a healthy relationship with your dog first. Now, the way you do that is by communicating that you're a leader for them, advocating for them, and setting up the structure of the house in a certain way that a trainer can help you do. Jax, heel. When you have a healthy relationship with your dog and you understand what that is, then you can set up a clear communication system with your dog where you're labeling what you're correcting them for. You cannot just start correcting a dog and disciplining them if you don't have a healthy relationship and home structure, and if you don't have a clear communication system set up to where they know what you're disciplining them for. Once you have those two things set up, you can discipline your dog fairly by using any tool, by using a prong collar, by using the e-collar, by using a spray bottle, anything your dog finds to be aversive. And when you learn how to do this with a trainer will help you understand that you can give the dog very low levels of pressure, of discipline, or you can give dogs very high levels of pressure or discipline. It depends on what the dog is doing. And when you're new to dog training, you have no clue what this range is. You have no clue how to do this fairly and effectively. So you think, nope, I'm just not going to discipline my dog. I'm just never going to tell him no. I'm never going to correct him. And then you see how that goes for you. It goes terribly. The dog goes crazy and out of control. So the answer is to figure out how to do it fairly and effectively. And it is nuanced. You have to understand that correcting a dog for not going into a down command is going to look totally different than correcting a dog for reacting at a kid or freaking out at a car or something that he completely unacceptable doesn't have to do. There's going to be a lot bigger correction for that undesirable behavior compared to free. Like if you're getting a dog to respond to just low levels of pressure because you need them to know, hey, down. Like if he gets out of this down and I had a leash on him, I would give him some little taps to get him back into the down. Like, hey, dude, you have to stay in that down. I'm going to make it worth it to him to stay in the down because I'm going to reward him once I'm done with having him in the down. But if he pops out of the down, I need to give him low amounts of pressure to get him back in. That's disciplining him. That's holding him accountable to the down position. And when he understands the accountability, and I also come over the top with positive reinforcement, and I'm like, hey, dude, like I know I just pressured you to stay in that down, but I'm also going to reward you. The dog's like, okay, this is a pretty good deal. Like I understand the rules. If my dad says down, I have to stay in the down. Like there's no choice about it. Free, down. There's no choice about it. He's like, I'm going to stay in the down, but I get treats, but I get toys, but I get freedom. Okay, this sounds like an awesome deal to listen to Dad. That's disciplining him to stay in the obedience behaviors. That is totally different than if he chooses to get out of the down and freak out at a toddler that's running over here. At that point, I would give him a serious correction. I would label it with NO, I would yell no, and I would give him a firm leash correction. And I would want that leash correction to be very uncomfortable. I would want it to be suppressive to the dog. I want it to suppress that behavior that he's choosing to act out in. And when you correct a dog, you're not necessarily teaching the dog anything. You're creating this big hole where the dog's like, I used to like freaking out at kids. It was kind of fun. It got all my energy out. I used to like chasing after those squirrels across the street. I don't care if I get hit by a car. I like chasing the squirrels. And now I'm getting a huge correction for doing that. And the dog starts to think, whoa, like that kind of hurt. That was uncomfortable. I don't think I'm going to do that again, but what should I do? That's where we come in over the top and we fill that hole that we created with positive behaviors, with staying in the obedience behaviors, with seeing the kid, seeing the dog that they want to react at, and then having them look at us. We mark those behaviors. We reward those behaviors. Hey, this is what I want you to do. That is what you are not allowed to do. It's not even that I don't want you to do it. It's just that if you choose to freak out and engage in this unacceptable behavior, there's going to be a bad consequence, and that's just that. There's no emotion involved. But if you choose to make a good decision and stay next to me and look up to me when you're stressed out and stay in obedience when I ask you to, even if there's triggers around, if you choose to do that, then you're going to get rewarded. Chip! And eventually they get released. You can reward a dog two ways. You can reward a dog down. You can reward him in place. When you reward a dog in place, you stabilize them in, eat that buddy, in the position. So if I want to stabilize him in the down position, I'm not going to release him. I'm going to say good, and I'm going to feed him in the position. Good down, good down. But if I want to build my dog up and I want him to get excited, let's say, so if you have an excitable dog who needs to calm down, I would reward in position a lot. Like I would make them stay in the down and I would reward them in the down because that's going to stabilize the dog. They're getting their reward, but they're still. If you have a fearful dog who lacks confidence, who needs to be built up, you're going to want to do dynamic rewards. This is where he's going to get released and he's going to get his reward. So watch this. Chip! Good. He knows he's released and you move around and give them that reward because that's going to build that dog's confidence. It gets them in a prey drive. They're chasing those treats. They're chasing that ball. And that's totally different than down, than rewarding him while he's in the position. What did I ask you to do? He doesn't know. Free. Down. Jesus, buddy. Yep, even dog trainer dogs aren't perfect. Oh my God. Free. Down. Oh, that's a happy boy. That's a happy boy. Hey, what's up, Hayashi Pack? My dog doesn't pull on a leash when he's wearing the spike collar, but after 2 to 3 days of irregular collar, he starts pulling again. Need a clear communication system with that dog. But, he's looking at you like a proud son. Yeah, he is a proud dog. I built him up that way. Hey, thanks for the gifts, Hayashi Pack. They go populas. My dog weighs 123 pounds and pulls when I walk him. What do you suggest? You got to train that dog with a prong collar. You got to transition to training that dog with an e-collar once you've progressed through on-leash training. There's just no ifs, ands, or buts about it. 123-pound dog, you need to have leverage. And you get leverage over a dog by choosing the right tool. A lot of cities have laws against off-leash dogs, so freedom isn't always an option. You can find places to take your dog off leash. Rules are meant to be broken sometimes. What, harness or head collar? Neither. Martingale versus prong collar. Always a prong collar over a martingale. Do you know why? Is that a shock collar? Does the prong collar hurt them? No. So let's talk more about the prong collars and the shock collars. Prong collars are incredibly effective tools. Now, prong collars are effective because they are very safe. When you have a prong collar, it evenly distributes the pressure around the dog's neck. So when you go like this, the pressure isn't going in one area. But let's say this is a flat collar. Let's say this is the dog's neck and this is a flat collar, this black band. When the dog pulls on this, all the pressure goes right to their trachea. They're pulling and all the pressure is right there. That can damage the trachea. But the way that a prong collar works is that the pressure is distributed all the way around. You see, when I pull on this, tightens the prong collar around. The pressure isn't just in one spot. Like, these are so much safer than flat collars. And the reason why you would use this over a martingale has the same little function. This is a martingale function right here, and it's attached to a prong collar. On a martingale collar, they have the martingale function, which is this thing attached to like a flat, just nylon collar. And the reason why you don't need to use that is because the only negative about the prong collar is that it looks scary to our human emotional perspective. That's the only downside. So unless you care what other people think of you, there's no reason to not use the prong collar, because with the prong collar, you can apply very low amounts of pressure. You can be very precise. You can also apply very large amounts of pressure. So it doesn't matter how difficult your dog is. If your dog isn't that difficult, this is still a better tool because you can be very precise and you can use low amounts of pressure. If you have a very difficult dog, then you absolutely need the prong collar because you need to utilize this to apply higher amounts of pressure. But you can't worry what other people think. That's literally the only downside to the prong collar, is that people are like, oh my God, I don't want other people to see my dog with a metal torture device on their neck. And we get all up in our ego, and that doesn't matter in dog training. What matters is what's best for the dog. And this is an amazing tool for the dog. These aren't designed to hurt your dog. Like, yes, are you going to give your dog some corrections with these that are uncomfortable if it's necessary for the behavior that they're choosing to engage in? Yes, but there's a function to that, and there's a reason to that. And we come over the top and we show them what we do want them to do, and we reward them for that, and we give them tons of positive reinforcement. When you use prong collars and e-collars, they're just a very small part of the training. Training is still 80% positive reinforcement, but that 80% of positive reinforcement with treats and toys, that only takes 20% of the work. And the last 20% of training, where we're using prong collars and e-collars and we're disciplining the dog and we're giving corrections, that's only 20% of the training or less. But that 20% or less of training takes 80% of the work. It's much more difficult, but you're never going to get a dog fully trained without doing that last 20%. Can you train them with the prong collar and then use a regular collar after that and they won't pull you? If your communication was really clear with the prong collar. But the thing is, like, why fix what isn't broken? You know, again, people who want to get the prong collar off all fast, they're like, how long do I have to train with the prong collar before I can go back to the flat collar? You're already worrying what other people think of you. Like, stop worrying about anything but what is best for your dog. And if the collar, the prong collar, the training collar, creates clear communication and it gives you leverage as a handler so that you can make the proper corrections and the proper communication to your dog, if it's working, why are you in a rush to get rid of it? Like, it makes zero sense to me. It's 0 sense. Stop worrying what other people think of you, and stop thinking that you're being like mean to your dog by using a tool that helps give them freedom, that helps them be able to come out on any walk, anywhere. These e-collars, these prong collars, these tools, allow you to teach your dog the skills to bring them on every camping trip, to bring them to every restaurant, to bring them on every hike. Like, you're not going to have to kennel train your dog. You're not going to have to leave them at a board and train. You're not going to have to, leave them behind when you're at the busy beach or the busy park. You'll be able to take them everywhere because of these tools, So don't be in a rush to get rid of them. Sit, pretty, free, come here. Sit, pretty. Good boy. Good job, dude. Look at you. Look at you. All right, so that's the end of the obedience kind of like tricks, engagement part of the training session. Now we're going to put him into his kennel for some, the kind of the last of his food down here. Watch out, buddy. He's like, Dad, let me in there. Yeah, he's excited to go in there. He knows what's coming. Food time, huh, buddy? So I like to do the last of his training where I'm about to get him some more food. I get him an egg. I get him a few supplements, the CBD turmeric supplement, some coconut oil, and I get him all this stuff in the bowl, and I have him eat it in his kennel. Even though he's 6, I got him when he was 1. He's very well kennel trained in general, and I still feed him the last of this meal whenever I'm home in the kennel because I forever want this to be a positive, happy place. He loves being in here. Like, this is open during the day, and he'll just go sleep in there. I have to drag him out of here. I'm like, dude, come on, let's go for a walk, dude. Wake up. And he's like, eh. And as soon as we're outside, he's up and ready to go. But the dude is lazy in his kennel. He's lazy on his couch because he loves those places. And I've made them very positive and I've stabilized him in these positions to where, you know, it's a very valuable tool for giving him mental stability. How much do e-collars and prong collars cost? Prong collars, $40. E-collar, 200 to 250 for a good one, for a mini educator that I would recommend. We're learning settle. Yep, that's tough, Steph. Lots of tethering, place training, crate training. We're teaching the dog to do nothing. And a dog who can do nothing is a dog who essentially is learning to meditate. Think about how healthy and beneficial it is for a human to meditate. That's essentially what he's doing. Like right now, he's not thinking, he's not doing anything. He's completely still, he's completely present, and he spends a lot of time in that state. And that's why he doesn't get injured. That's why he doesn't get sick. That's why dogs are able to be so much more present than us, is because they're spending all this time in a meditative state. But an untrained dog, a reactive dog who can't settle yet, who can't go in the crate without freaking out, who can't go onto their place bed without freaking out, who can't just be tethered and attached to a leash and just learn to lay down and do nothing. That dog doesn't have as much time in that meditative state. That dog is in their head a lot more. That dog needs help from you learning how to do nothing. And when you teach that dog how to do nothing, dogs already know how to do. They already know how to go. They already know how to play. They already know how to run. They already know how to be active. They need to know how to do nothing. You're not going to give them a bunch of treats and toys to take in their crate. You want them to unwind in there and just learn to relax without any stimulation. We don't want to send them in there with a metaphorical, iPad or scrolling TikTok in there. That's what dog owners who always have to give their dog enrichment, or they always have to give their dog a toy. They always have to be paying attention to their dog. You trained a dog that needs to be scrolling on TikTok all day. Think about how unhealthy that is. Like, think about a kid, a teenager who goes in his bed at the end of the night and is scrolling TikTok for hours. That kid's not going to be as stable as the person who can put the phone away and just go into rest for 8 hours. That person's going to be a lot healthier. No, Chrissy, you definitely don't have to get rid of the prong collar. You don't have to get rid of the e-collar. They're there for backup. Your goal should be eventually transition them off as it is considered a training tool. I mean, that's a completely subjective goal. With the e-collar, you absolutely don't have to do that. Why would you not just leave the e-collar on as a backup, especially when you have the dog off leash? Yeah, if you want to get the dog off the prong collar, sure, I get it. Like, there's a lot of times I don't put that on my dog. He doesn't need it, but you don't have to use the prong collar when it's on. Like, when the prong collar is on the dog's neck, it's just resting there. It's not doing anything. And if you're not applying pressure to that prong collar, it's just like any other collar that's resting on your dog's neck. And for a lot of dog owners, the reason why I preach this is because a lot of people aren't going to turn into dog trainers like me and like whatever other trainers in here. And they're always going to need a little bit of leverage, a little bit of communication, because they're not trying to take training to the top level. If you're trying to get really, really experienced at dog training just as a pet owner, then yeah, you'll learn how to take the prong collar off. Like, yeah, I could go anywhere without my dog's e-collar. Anywhere. I have some videos. I don't do it anymore just because I don't think it's the most responsible thing to do. But I have a lot of videos with my dog without any collar on at all in downtown Seattle, off leash, like no e-collar. And because I conditioned the e-collar to my voice, I don't need to have the e-collar on him. But the only reason I would take the e-collar off is if I cared what people on the internet said, because no one says anything in person. But it's just people are on the internet are like, you know how people are with dogs. You're like, oh, do it without the e-collar. Well, I literally could. I just don't care to take off the tool. Like, I never have to use it, but why not leave it on there just if some freak thing happens, or, it's just what makes sense. I use crates, prong collars, and e-collars. Yeah, they're amazing tools, Peter. Amazing tools. I feel attacked. Yeah, people tell me that in my lives all the time, and I don't mean to do that, but it's good to feel attacked, because what you're feeling is you understand that it's your fault that your dog is untrained. It's your fault that things in your training aren't going the way that you want them to, and that's a good thing to realize, because you can do something about that. The first step to dog training is taking accountability and understanding that, hey, my dog acts the way that they act because of things I'm doing incorrectly, or things that I'm not doing that I should be doing that I don't know to do. And when you have this realization, all of a sudden you can start learning. You can start making changes. You can start helping your dog out. But if you think that your dog is like broken or something, if you think that your dog has some like severe mental issue, like that's a crazy problem. That's a very rare as well. Like dogs with like severe anxiety or dogs with serious aggression is very rare. Like it's not very common. Like people think it's just reactivity. People think their dogs are aggressive sometimes. I'm like, your dog is not aggressive at all. Do they look aggressive? Like, are they having behaviors that kind of appear to be aggressive? Yes, but they are not aggressive. Now, those cases are so rare. For everybody else, all the dogs are missing is training. That's all. Your dog's not anxious. Your dog's just untrained. Your dog's not psycho. He's just untrained. Your dog's not even disobedient to a degree. He just hasn't been taught how to be obedient, you know? Can you train them well, but also allow them to sleep in your bed and couch? That's a great question. If your dog will listen to you whenever you tell them to get off the bed and the couch, if your dog doesn't display any reactivity or problematic behavior, if everything with your dog is going good and you allow them on the couch and the bed and that doesn't change anything, go for it. Go for it. Do I recommend it? Not for anyone who's ever had a reactive or problematic dog. I do not. I do not. But can you do it? Yeah. If that really brings a ton of value to your life and you just love having your dog in the bed and you love having them on the couch and all those things you can check all those boxes off that I just said. They'll get off when you tell them to. They listen to you. They're obedient. They don't display reactive or aggressive behavior in any way. Then yeah, totally. But if your dog is untrained, if your dog has resource guarding issues, if your dog has reactivity issues, if your dog has any aggression or fear or any of those serious issues that dogs will display, get them off the bed, off the couch. Crate train them. Give them their own couch. Give them their own space. Hand feed them their food. Put the toys away. That dog needs structure. That dog needs discipline. And through that discipline and that structure, the dog will build mental stability. And through that mental stability, you'll be able to give the dog freedom. Like you'll be able to give that dog more freedom and they'll be able to handle it. They're not going to go freak out. They're not going to be destructive. They're not going to lash out at other dogs or people. But it all starts with the discipline and the freedom. Thanks, Yashi Park, for the I heard you. Dog training is more for us humans, totally. That dog is staring like he understands. Yeah, he's waiting for his food. So we're going to get the rest of his food. He's waiting in there so patiently because he knows some food's coming. So we're gonna get this boy an egg. So I break a raw egg and I crack the shell over the egg. So he eats the egg shell as well. They're healthy for doggos. Boom, boom, boom. And he gets some oil of oregano. It's like an essential oil, great for the immune system, great antibacterial, just to avoid any little infections this dude might get. Same with the coconut oil he gets. They're both great for nails, coat, skin, hair, that type of deal. And I know also the coconut oil is a great antibacterial. But you can use like omega oils, salmon oils. Those things are really great for dogs too. And I give him a CBD turmeric supplement. Now, a lot of people ask if I give him the CBD turmeric supplement to calm him down. And I always say that I've never seen it calm him down ever. We can go play at the park for hours after him taking that supplement. He'll be going the whole time. But I give it to him because it's good for his immune system, because he's so active. Like, you guys just see these training sessions where we're just doing like structured, routines, and it's just a fun outlet we like to do. But the only reason we do this structure and these discipline, these like robotic dog routines is one, because we enjoy it, but two, because it's that structure and that connection through work that allows me to give him so much freedom. Like, this dog gets to go on off-leash walks and hikes, like completely separate from me and still connected at the same time, 40, 50, 60 yards away, and he can handle that freedom. He gets to run next to me on my bike. He gets to run next to me while I run. He gets to swim in the lake. He gets to swim in the river. He gets to play fetch and tug. He gets to play with his friends. He gets to help me train other dogs. He gets to go everywhere, beaches, parks, cities, doesn't matter. He gets to be there. But it's all because of that discipline and that structure. But all that freedom means he's real active. He's running a lot. He's playing a lot. So I want his joints and his ligaments and all that and his immune system to hold up. So that's why I give him the CBD turmeric supplement, just because it's healthy for him in general, not to calm him down. But it's kind of crazy that doesn't calm him down. Like, do any of you guys give your dogs CBD things that actually calm them down? Because I never got it for that purpose anyways, because I don't need him to be calmer. He can be excited. I can handle his energy. But it's kind of crazy that, yeah, I've literally given him the CBD supplement, and like 30 minutes later, we've gone and ran 10 miles. You know, just been out for hours, and he's just like going the whole time. So a lot of trainers would tell you that the owners are the one that needs training. Yep, very true. I give my dogs my 3 dogs frozen sardines. That's awesome. What's up, Samir? Good to see you again. Yep, you're welcome, Hot Wheels, Hot Dog. Happy to help. People need to learn the difference between working dogs and regular dogs. Yeah, there definitely is a difference there, but the thing is, people who bring me regular dogs who have reactivity and behavioral issues, you have to give them a bit of a working dog lifestyle. You have to give them some working dog structure to help alleviate those issues. Yeah, if you have a regular dog and they never displayed any problematic issues or reactivity, then yeah, there's a good chance you don't ever really have to venture into a working dog type of lifestyle or structure. But essentially what I do for all my clients who do kind of bring me quote unquote, I wouldn't say they're regular dogs because a lot of them are working dog breeds, but just dogs that obviously aren't going to be working a traditional job. We give them jobs to do, through obedience, through structured play. Um, yeah. How many dogs do you have? I just have this one dog. This is my one personal dog, Jax. Just got done walking my dog. Let's go. So the relationship between you and the dog is what you want. Yep. If the dog has been eating kibble their whole life, can they have raw eggs without issue? He can. I'm no canine nutritionist, but he's good with it. Working dogs take more time and discipline than regular dogs. If you have a working dog, put in the work so that the relationship, yep, totally. Yes, sir. Is a Cane Corso a harder dog to train? AMG, yeah. A Cane Corso, it can be a little harder dog to train. Are they? They're very trainable though. You just have to know what you're doing. If you don't know what you're doing with the Cane Corso, it gets a little difficult because they're a serious dog. But if you do know what you're doing, they're very loyal. They're very protective. They're very responsive, and they want to work with you. But it's all about what the handler knows. So a Cane Corso, that's a working dog breed. You're going to need to give them a lot of outlets to fulfill their needs. You're going to have to give them some structure, and they need a strong leader. That's what a Cane Corso needs. So he's waiting there for me to release him to get his food. How do you train a dog who's reactive towards other dogs? I rescued a dog who was aggressive towards other dogs, but she's fine with people. I don't want her to get into fights with other dogs. Kai Uwu. Go to my YouTube. I have 3 videos on there. They're each like an hour long. One's on dog psychology. I teach you how dogs learn and think so you can figure out what's going on in their head. The second one is how to structure a healthy relationship with your dog, like how to create rules and home training. The third video is how to create a full communication system with your dog, like the literal steps to implement a full communication system and how to train your dog, any command. If you go watch those videos, you'll still need some help. I still recommend hiring a trainer, but you will understand how to train a reactive dog. You will understand the foundation of it, but you have to go watch those videos. You're asking me a question, and you're probably wanting a quick answer here on TikTok, and I don't blame you. That's very normal. You're like, I'm talking to a dog trainer. Let me ask him how to fix this. And I'm telling you to go watch 3 hours of course videos. And that might seem a little excessive, but think about it like this. Think about how many people don't ever figure out how to train their dogs. And they spend all this time just, watching TikToks and all this just quick little videos, trying to find a quick fix, trying to find a secret trick. It doesn't work. Just take 3 hours out of your day. Go watch those videos. I promise you they will point you in the right direction. They're not going to solve all your problems, but they'll point you in the right direction. I watch those videos. They're freaking awesome. Thanks, Peter. Like, I appreciate that. I put a lot of time into them, and I just, like, my clients all watch those videos. I'm not like a YouTuber, so it's not like I'm pushing out these videos trying to get a bunch of views. But those videos are directly from my course that all my clients go through. And so many people say, you know, when they start training with me, they're like, oh my God, like, it makes so much sense. Like, what I do in those videos is I try to flip YouTube name's the same. It's linked in my bio show on my YouTube. So the videos that I'm talking about are my long form videos on my YouTube channel. So I post YouTube shorts as well, the same stuff as my TikToks and Instagram. Chirp! There he gets released to get his food. He was waiting that whole time. But what I'm talking about in reference to these questions are the long form course videos on my YouTube. Now that stuff is directly from my online training platform where all my clients go through training. We train in person, but they work through the online video course between sessions and prior to starting training as pre-training to get a foundation. Yeah, and it's for these new dog owners who just don't understand dogs yet, and it will flip your entire perspective of dog training. Oh yeah, TJ, yeah, he was waiting. Are Pyrenees hard dogs to train? They can be, yeah. They're serious dogs. They're livestock guardian dogs. They're working dogs, but they're very trainable. I see a lot of owners waiting for their dogs that sniff the grass for 10 minutes, and when the owner tries to move them along, they resist. What will you tell these individuals? First of all, those owners, so do you guys hear that question? Let me say it again. So I see a lot of owners waiting for their dogs that sniff the grass for 10 minutes, and when the owner tries to move them along, they resist. What would you tell these owners? That's a great question. So the first thing is that these owners don't have a healthy relationship with their dog. Their dog doesn't care about them. Their dog cares more about grass than them. That doesn't mean we don't ever want our dogs to have sniff time. They absolutely need sniff time. But you want to build a relationship to where you can release your dog and they turn to you because they're like, hey, are we going to play? Are we going to do some obedience work? Like, I kind of want to do something with you. And it's not magic getting a dog to think like that. Like when I release my dog, if we're walking and we're side by side and we're walking and I say free, he goes and looks up at me because he's like free, like we're about to do something. And I love that, you know, because it's a strong relationship. It means he wants to engage with me more than he wants to go sniff. And I make it really fun and positive to engage with me. It's not always just work and discipline. It's like, hey, dude, you're going to engage with me and I'm going to build a lot of value in me through this ball that we're playing fetch with, through this tug toy that we're playing with, through this food that we're working for. And then the dog, they'll see you as they'll see you as more value. They'll see more value in you than they do sniffing bushes, than they do the other dogs, than they do squirrels, than they do traffic that has them stimulated. We want them to see us as more value so that they look to us. And that's not magic. You don't have to have some specific dog who chooses to do that. You train that. And when you're training a dog and you're telling them that, hey, we're moving along and you need to come with me, and the dog ignores you, what that means is that the dog doesn't respect you. The dog sees you as a pushover. They know that if they don't listen to you, nothing's going to happen. They're so used to you bribing them with toys. They're so used to you love bombing them with affection, like a unstable girlfriend or boyfriend who is obsessed with the person that they've been on one date with. That's kind of a red flag. We're like, whoa, like, dude, slow down. Like, well, why are you giving me so much love and affection? I just met you yesterday. That's what we do to our dogs. And they'll take the love and affection, but they don't respect you. They'll take all the bribes. They'll take all the treats. They'll take all of the bribes, but they won't respect you. They'll be like, this person's weak. Give me the treats. Yeah, sure. Pet me. Pet me all you want, all you need. But I don't respect you. I'm not going to listen to you when things get stressful. I'm not going to listen to you when there's pressure. It's because you're not communicating to them right. You need to have them earn their food. You need to have them understand that there are rules. When I say you have to come with me, you have to come with me. You know, and you make it worth it for them to do that. But you have to hold them accountable. You have to train the dog in obligation. So to answer that question in short, TJ, I would say that person has a very unhealthy relationship and the dog doesn't see them as of value. And that person also hasn't trained the dog the value of must. They haven't trained the dog in obligation. That, hey, you have to listen to me. But when you listen to me, good things happen. You get freedom. It's all about just strong leadership. So how do you train a dog who isn't food motivated? First of all, a lot of people will tell me, hey, my dog's not food motivated and then I ask them what they're doing during mealtime, and they tell me that they just drop the food bowl down and just let the dog devour it. Why would your dog be food motivated if they never have to work for the food? Like, it makes zero sense. So you have to have the dog do things for the food. If the dog is refusing to work because you unfortunately condition them to think that they don't ever need to do that, then the dog doesn't eat. And sometimes it takes a day or 2 or 3, but eventually the dog's gonna eat. They're gonna have a hunger response. And when they do choose to eat, they have to work for their food. And when you have the dog work for their food, it will get them more into drive, and that drive will transfer into the food. That's the first thing you need to do. But you also need to figure out what does make your dog tick. If your dog's not food motivated, are they motivated for your affection? Are they motivated for toys? Like, do you have a ball or a tug toy that you could use that they're motivated for? There's other things to motivate your dog with. Get some water. But you have to build up that food drive. Maybe your dog's never gonna be as food driven as this guy. This guy's super food driven. But you can always improve the level of food drive that your dog has. Good point. Chaos won't even take treats from me. I've even tried high quality treats. Yeah, I would say stop thinking that you need to be even like it's almost like you're trying to bribe your dog with treats. It's like use your leadership to instill some obligation in the dog. Be like, hey, you have to do what I do. Like, I'll give you treats when you get treats, but I'm not gonna bribe you for treats. I'm not gonna sit here and try to like coax you into doing treats. If you don't take the treat, okay, you still have to do the obedience behavior. You still have to do what I ask of you, and make them work a little more for you. A lot of my clients, you see a lot of success when they start to wean off the treats, because a lot of dogs who expect to get a treat like every time they do anything, there's no value in the treats anymore. Like, they kind of think like, whatever, I'll get this whenever I want. So if I feel like getting it now, I'll get it. If I don't, I don't. You want to make that dog work for you. Like, you want to make them do things. And a lot of people are uncomfortable making their dog work. They're uncomfortable having their dog like earn things and do things without giving them a treat for every tiny behavior. It's not a good headspace for the dog to be in. You know, we want our dogs to be in good headspace, and spoiling our dog with treats and trying to like bribe them and thinking that we're not enough. A lot of times when we're constantly trying to bribe our dogs with treats, it's because we think we're not enough, like as owners. And Jax, you want some more water? And when go to your place, dude. When you think you're not enough as an owner, there's like a certain energy that you're putting out that the dog can sense. Like, you need to understand that you're a big deal to your dog. And if you're not a big deal to your dog, it's because you're not doing the right training things. But when you're doing the right training things and you understand how to handle the dog's resources, you understand how to be a leader for the dog, you need to understand that you're of value. And you need to walk around and you need to know that you're of value. You need to be like, hey, my touch means something. And if I'm giving you my touch, that's a big deal. Like, my voice, it means something. If I'm speaking to you, it means something. Like, I'm saying something that matters. And if you don't approach your dog that way, they kind of are just looking at you like you're just some silly person that lives in their house. They're like that guy, he's not that serious. I don't really care what he's saying. Like, if I don't feel like doing it, I'm not gonna do it, and he's not gonna make me. You know, he's a pushover. You know, that guy bribes me all the time. He can't. Like, think about, if you're bribing your dog all the time, think about it like this. Think about that kid when we were younger who people didn't like, but he had like a pool. And so people just used him for his pool. And he was like, come over guys, come on. I got a pool, everyone can come in my pool. I got a bunch of video games, and I'll give you money. I'll just come hang out with me. Think about that kid. No one respected that kid. People might have went over and used his pool and took his stuff, but like, no one respects that person, you know? And that's the kind of person that we are to our dogs. That's how they're looking at us. And there's like tangible steps you can take to reverse that. Yeah, Loranda, I know you know what I'm talking about. It is kind of funny though. And unfortunately, that's what we do with our dogs. We bribe them, we love bomb them, we over talk to them. Like, it's crazy how much we over talk to our dogs. Like, for all the ladies in here, think about, you guys have been on dates with guys. Think about those guys who you go out on dates with, and this guy won't shut up. Like, he's trying to like tell you about all the cool stuff he is. He's trying to tell you about all of his just why he's so awesome. He's trying to prove himself to you. You instantly can tell that guy is a loser. Like, you're like, this guy is not that confident because all he's trying to do is tell me about how cool he is, because he doesn't actually have real confidence. He can't let his confidence speak for itself. He has to try to prove himself to you, and he doesn't shut up when he's doing it. That's the same thing people do with their dogs, is they do not shut up around their dogs. They're like, come on, buddy, please, like, come on, please, can we go? Like, no, 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 don't do that, don't do that. Come on, be a good boy. Please be a good boy. Like, are we gonna be a good boy today? It's like, shut up. Like, how weak can you be? Like, the dog can sense that, like, and they're just not gonna respect you, and they're gonna tune you out. They're gonna be like, when this person talks, like, I really don't care what they're saying because they're just kind of weak, and you know, it's just how we are with dogs. And go watch the videos in my YouTube. It'll completely flip how you look at dogs. His look at you when you talked about the guy priceless. Oh, I missed it. What were you looking at? Oh, Jesus, dude. Don't be choking yourself out on me. Yeah, you're welcome, PJ. Belly rub. Yeah, I actually don't like him rolling on his back like that. He just ate a bunch of food, so he needs to not do that. He gave you the look. Yeah, thanks, Peter. Did you know that Kennel is approved to be in airplanes? I didn't know, Miggy, but that makes a lot of sense. How many years of training for your dog? He's 6, started training when he was 1, so he's been working together for 5 years. 4 of them are pretty been productive. Top 3 initial commands for training your dog. All the basic commands you need to know are sit, down, place, come, recall, and heel. From those 5 commands, like, that's the basic obedience I teach. That's the foundation. From there, you'll understand how to teach any command. Like, if you can learn how to figure out those 5 commands, it's the same mechanism. It's the same math equation to teach them some crazy weaving between your legs or sit pretty command. But start with those 5 commands and learn the basics that enable you to teach those, and then you'll understand how to apply that to other commands, and you can teach your dog as many commands as you want. I missed why you used the Kennel. Looking for TSA approved crates. Oh, I got that Kennel because I was gonna get a truck or a Suburban, but it's not quite the right time, so it doesn't fit in my sedan. So I just have this 5-star crash proof tested kennel in my condo. Is what it is. Some dog owners cringe me out with how they conversate with their pets. Yeah, yeah, TJ, same, yeah. And it's like, hey, you can treat your dog how you want, especially if you don't have behavioral issues with your dog. But if you do, it's like you have to approach dogs the way I'm telling you guys if you have a difficult dog. Hey, what's up, Turtle? We're doing good. We're just finishing up a long live. It's been fun. So this dude's all gassed out. I can't get mine to lay at all. He will sit, come, leave it, stay in safety. I mean, some of that's just going to be leash pressure, teaching that dog that he has to go into the down. But also try to motivate him. Like, why is he motivated to do the other stuff and not that one? Why can't you use a food lure? Why can't you use a toy? Like, combine that with some of that leash pressure. A lot of time when dogs aren't getting into the position with just positive reinforcement, I'll use positive reinforcement and negative reinforcement at the same time. So some dogs, it's like, yeah, you can just lure them into the positions with food. But other dogs, it's like lure them into the position with the food and then leash pressure them at the same time, because you're using positive reinforcement and negative reinforcement. Notice how those are both reinforcement. Like, you're not using positive reinforcement and punishment to get your dog into the down. You're using negative reinforcement. It's also reinforcing. If you don't understand why it's reinforcing, go watch my YouTube video on Dog Psychology 101, How Dogs Learn and Think. Bro, do you know how much it costs for a service dog for, like, health issues? I don't, but I know it's expensive. I would say like tens of thousands, maybe. Yeah. Bro, what do you think about pit bulls? Well, people need to understand that pit bulls were actually bred to fight. Like, the pit bulls that were more aggressive would be bred. And even though you don't have like 100% DNA in all of these pitty mixes, it's not like there's American Pit Bull Terriers and all these pitty mixes. These are serious dogs. And I don't think it's a coincidence that most of my clients bring me a pitty mix. I call them bully breeds, which includes American Bullies, which includes Pit Bulls, Staffies, any Terriers. I just kind of summarize it by saying bully breeds. And these are tougher dogs. And unfortunately, like, societally, Jax, come here. societally, we've kind of turned these pitties, these pit bull mixes, these bully breeds into like a good starter dog. And people think that it's a good idea to get their first dog from the kennel who is some pitty mix, some bully breed. And I would not recommend this dog to like 90% of people. I would not recommend any of these pitty breeds. They have very high prey drive. They have very high exercise needs, stimulation needs. They need training. And now all of a sudden, all these like 20-year-olds and apartments and dorms want the next cute pitty mix that they can get from the Humane Society. It is a recipe for disaster. And it's a reason why so many of my clients bring me these dogs. And they're just more serious dogs. They have a lot of drive. And there is a high chance of them becoming reactive. You know, like they need to be worked. Like they need structure. They need training. And people look at these dogs like they don't. Like, oh, pitties are just these sweet family dogs. And can they be? Yes, they can be if you know what you're doing. They absolutely can be. But they're not a good first dog. Like there are so many better first dogs than the bully pitty mixes. Like so many. This guy's a classic example of a crazy pitty bully mix. This guy was reactive, aggressive, just crazy. Couldn't do anything. Couldn't walk on the leash. Couldn't be in the crate. Couldn't be around dogs, cats, any animals. I always say how if a leaf blew down the alley like 100 yards away from us, he'd be freaking out. And I'm not exaggerating. I literally remember the times where a leaf blew down the alley 100 yards away from us and he freaked out. Like, what the was that? Couldn't be in the house. Couldn't be in the car. Nothing. These pitties are serious dogs, so don't just go get a pitty and think it's going to be easy. If you're ready for the training, shake it off. Shake it off. Come on. Give me a shake. Back up. Come on. Give me a shake. Good. I make him shake it off after he brushes his teeth because he holds a little stress because he doesn't love getting his teeth brushed. He puts up with it because we have a strong relationship, but it's not his favorite thing. But anyways, I hope that answers the question about the pit bulls. But I love pit bulls, don't get me wrong. It's just like, I just don't recommend them to most people. Like you have to have a certain lifestyle and certain training and it can go south real quick. Your volume again. I think it's just you, Jane. I've been on live the last couple of days and there've been hundreds and hundreds of people and no one said anything about the volume. What kind of toothpaste do you use? I don't even know, just the random stuff from the dog store. My Staffy has bad separation anxiety. Yep. Hey, thanks for the heart, me, Melissa. He's okay with how far you run him? Yeah, I can't run him quite as far as I used to, you know? Like the other day, for example, I went on a run and I usually always take him, but I'm like, this one's going to be a little longer. Like, I'm just going to leave him home, which I hate doing. But he is older and we're really, really active. So sometimes I just need to give him a break. And he doesn't want a break. I kind of have to make him take a break. But this dude's like, he does this like all day, every day. Like the dude's sleeping like 20 hours a day. It's just that what you guys see on these lives and in my videos is just when he's working and he's going. But in reality, he's just doing this all day. But yeah, like you know, like I took him on a 15-mile run like a couple weeks ago, and that was a little much. Like he was pretty gassed by the end. But it's less the running with me. Like he can do the running with me because I'm a human. I'm not that fast. But I don't really take him on runs next to the bike anymore. You know, I'm like, hey, dude, you're active enough. Like, we don't need to go on bike rides. Because when I'm riding the bike, he's sprinting. And it's like, he just doesn't need that. He gets enough sprinting in from fetch and all of that. Would help your pup become not so on edge. Go watch the YouTube videos. I have course videos from my training course online. And if you watch those long form course videos, you will understand how to make your pup be not so on edge. Sleep in crate or bed? Crate every night next to me in my room. What do you think about male versus female? Oh, good question, Puffaway. Male dogs are dumber. They will kind of just blindly follow you into the fire. They're easier to train. They want to please you. Females are more difficult because they're a little more intelligent. They're a little more self-sufficient. They will think for themselves a little more. They don't need your approval as much. And amazing dogs, like amazing dogs still, but it's just a totally different vibe. because the boys are like very much like a stereotypical boy, like how you would think, like just like a jock, just like a, you know, a boy that wants to watch wrestling and jump off trampolines. Like it very much, the shoe very much fits. The stereotypes very much fit with dogs. And you know, the females are, they can be tougher to earn their respect, you know, because they're not big doofuses, you know, just wanting to please you in every way. They're just a little more intellectual, in my experience, a little more cerebral, and you need to tread a little more lightly. Like, you still have to be a strong leader. You still need to give the female dogs discipline, but you need to sometimes you need to approach things with a little less force and a little more nuance. I bet you could legit take him anywhere. He is so well trained. Yeah, go check out all the TikToks. He can literally go anywhere with me, off leash, like downtown Seattle, busy beaches. I posted a video the other day where I walked him through a crazy downtown protest off leash, like right through the protest, and filmed it. He's listening to you. Yeah, he does listen. When I get off the lives, he kind of just goes to sleep. But until I stop talking in the camera, he's kind of like half paying attention over there, because he's like, there's energy going on. Like, I can kind of sense my dad's talking. What can I do with the reactive Jack Russell Terrier dog? You're gonna have to train the dog. There's not some secret I can give you. A lot of people, I don't blame you too, a lot of people understandably want some like secret. You know, they want me to give them, hey, do this trick and this will make your reactivity go away. What you need to do is you need to fully train your dog from start to finish. You need to work with a trainer who will teach you how to go through obedience training. You need to learn how to structure the house. You need to learn how to establish a communication system. You need to learn how to discipline your dog. You need to learn how to reward your dog properly. You need to learn how to play with your dog. You need to learn how to handle all your dog's resources. When you do all of these things, your dog's reactivity, whatever the reactivity is, will go away. Because of all those things that you're doing indirectly, it will go away. And you'll also have the tools to directly address whatever last bits of those issues still remain. But there's no way to like skip over all of that work and just kind of, let me just handle this reactivity. Just help me to get him to stop barking. Help me to get him to stop having separation anxiety. Help me to get him to stop being aggressive towards kids. You can't just skip over all the work and just directly address your problem. The problem will get solved through all of the work. And it's not the answer you guys want to hear. It's just the reality of the situation. Is a golden a good first dog? Yes, Colin, a golden is. They have a very good temperament. They're very social. Yeah, I highly recommend a golden before a pitty. Can a golden still be a lot of energy? Yeah, but you have a lot better odds of getting, if you go through a breeder, you have very good odds of getting a dog that won't develop reactivity, that will be mentally stable, compared to getting like a pitty mix from the shelter. Very tough first dog. Do you even use a leash anymore? Yeah, Cassie, I do, and I'm trying to use one more, not because he needs one, just because it's less thinking. You know, whenever I'm out with him off leash, it's like it might look like we're just walking, and in a way we are, but I'm also having to be more focused. And when I can just put him on a leash, it's like I don't have to think. He doesn't have to think as much, because if we're walking off leash, it's more work for him too, because he has to follow me in every direction off leash. Like, that's like a thing for him that he has to do. And when I just put him on a leash, he can kind of just turn off his brain, and it's just easier for both of us. So as he's getting older, I use a leash a lot more, and I kind of just got too extreme when I was younger with the off leash stuff. It's just a little reckless. Like, I'll still post videos where he's off leash, but I don't really talk about it as much. I'm not trying to like push, hey, I'm off leash and I'm breaking leash laws everywhere. I'm just not trying to like push that as much. Do I still do it? Yeah, but I just try not to make it a thing, you know. I'm not trying to like encourage people to take their dogs off leash. It's you got to have a high level of training. How do you learn so much about dogs and training them? By screwing up a ton, by going to the wrong trainers with him. So I got him 5 years ago, and it was a nightmare. And I tried the positive only force-free training, and everything got worse. And I was like, what is this? Because this is kind of what all what social media and what the internet tells you to do. And I'm like, why is this so obviously not the right thing to do? Like, it wasn't working at all. And so then after that failed training experience, I went to this trainer who was a little too harsh. They were just teaching how to use prong collars, and they were a little too heavy-handed. And I'm like, this doesn't feel right either. Like, there was like no treats involved. And Jane, I think it's just you. I've been on YouTube Live like for a couple days since you last said the volume was off, and no one else has said that. So I think it's just your volume, Jane. Sorry that you can't hear well. So I went to the trainer who was a lot more heavy-handed, and that didn't feel good either. So I'm like, what the hell is up with this training thing? And I went to a third trainer, and this trainer helped me figure out how to train all around. He helped me get my dog just completely dialed in, and then I took it even further than he wanted or than he expected. And I just kind of grew a knack for it, and I just started researching and started working at a dog school. I started going through online training courses, and just got kind of obsessed with it. And yeah, thanks. Volume is good. It's just someone on my other stream. I got a YouTube stream. I got two phones out here, so someone on the other one said the volume's off, but it's fine. I refuse to train with treats. Yeah, I mean, I get it. Like, I don't train with treats anymore, but I think they're very helpful when used properly. But the thing is, a lot of people misuse treats. You know, everything about the way they use treats is off. And I think there's a lot of value in using treats personally, but I totally get when people don't use treats because, you can do that you can do that in the right way. Like, I know a lot of people that have a lot of successful training doing that, and they're not being too heavy-handed. There's just a skill, you know. And I think the point of using treats is to learn how to not use them at all. Like, I don't use any treats at all with my dog anymore. Like, if I do, it's just for fun. But I don't take treats anywhere. It's not something we need anymore. But we did use them at one point as a training tool. I'm in Virginia. I'm in Seattle, Washington. I'm in Western Washington, so I'm pretty far away. All right, guys, I do got to go. Got to get in the gym. Got to get a few things done. But it's been fun. So I will catch you guys later. Thanks for tuning in. We post every single day dog training stuff. So, yep, you're welcome. And, yep, thanks, TJ. Thanks, Puff Away. Yeah, thanks, Cheryl. He's an awesome dog. We will catch you guys later. Have a great night with your dogs.